All right, Jeremy here, Jeeps Unlimited, PartsBreakers.com. Haven't done this many videos in months, it seems like. Yesterday, I got back from vacation. As soon as I walked in the yard, I went to take a couple short videos and ended up being kind of longer videos, so I apologize if you watch those. Although they're fairly informative, they're kind of call my boring videos. So I'm going to skip to it on this one and show it as it is. It's a final approval video, which means the customer put a deposit down. For those of you who don't know how we do things, typically you get a C, and in this case, the way the rep, my guy, I'm working on him, but normally they'll give you a video ahead of time if it's pre-dismantle. So pre-dismantle just means something like, let's say that there, you know, we're trying to sell, let's say, a tub or the frame. We'll go over it as best we can, price it where we think it's going to be, and that's, you know, that's kind of that. A video, you know, so it's still fairly good idea, and you save a little bit of money doing it that way versus, you know, when we get it all said and done, you know, we don't have that pricing. Plus, sometimes they end up being better than we think, and then in that case, so that's kind of why we do those. So if you're seeing this and wondering what the heck, that's it. That's all it is. So almost every single one of these tubs out here, minus these two yellow ones, have sold. Those ones are all, and they were all done in that fashion. So it allows us as a business, as a small business, fairly small but big, you know, kind of thing, big operation, to cash flow our business. And it's the way I've done it for 18 years, the way it seems to work. So anyway, 97 to 01. You can always tell that by that firewall cut out there versus the later ones like that guy. And white tub. So this is really the first time I'm getting to look at this thing other than when it was sitting as a whole. And there's a couple things that I'm going to make notes of that will be removed that the guys, I guess, just were lazy. I didn't see any order notes, so if it's in there, I'll check before we have them pulled. They might be. But normally with these things get sold absolutely bare bones, and we inventory everything else, and especially colors like white and yellow. There's certain colors that are a little harder for us to get. So, all right, and because it's got these big old flares on it, which I don't even care about, because I think they're mismatched actually. I'm not mistaken. Yeah, they're mismatched. I won't be able to flip it up on its side. So I am going to have to get you a better video later. But this will at least give you the outside of it and go from there, okay? So the point of this video is that, you know, I want you to, if I don't show you this tub as if you're standing here next to me all close up here in a minute, then I'm not doing my job. I want you to know exactly what you're getting and not have any surprises on your end. And also, and we've never had this happen, but just in the case that, you know, transporter or one of our hot shots were to damage something, this provides, you know, a great proof. It timestamps it and shows the tub as it left here. So, all right. So without further ado, let's go over it, the fine-tooth comb. And it hasn't been washed yet. It literally just got pulled. So I'll kick out some of the stuff that I see in it. But it will get washed. And again, I'll get you a better video and do this whole thing all over again. But since you can, I didn't get to see a very good shot of it. I want to show you it best I can before I take off, and then I'll be back in the morning. All right, so flares go down here. That's what these little guys are. Okay, these little nuts, and if you haven't pulled your flare yet, you may find this out very quickly. But these typically don't like to pull, and I can tell this one is that way at one time prior to us getting it, because it's got kind of, this isn't even a nut cert. This is what should be in it, nut certs. And those you can get as a kit. They're fairly inexpensive if you're going to run flares. If you're not going to run flares, then just, you can either fill them in, or if you're putting armor up, they'll get covered that way. So, but if you're going to be running the factory flares, you'll want those. And I probably would redo this and put a nut cert back in. And the reason being is that this is a plastic nut cert, and these don't give you very much of a flush thing. So you could try it and see, and if you like it and it's flush. I didn't see it before it came off. It might have been. If that's the case, I'd just leave it alone, but you'll be able to see that before you put it on. So things like this we actually do pull, and these get sold as sets part of the upper, you know, which isn't even on here right now. But all the holes here, nice clean threads, just like we want to see. And most importantly, nothing broken off as far as these go. So nice clean threads. You know, every once in a while you break a bolt. We use tools to prevent that, but my guys know better to break bolts. If it happens, it happens. I usually make them drill them out if I catch them. Otherwise, you have to do it, and it's just, you know, extremely time consuming. So I gotta wash this thing. It's got dirt in it right now, but the floors are excellent shape. You can see here, paint underneath, all nice white. Now typically on a tub, the floors, especially if they've ever had carpet in them and the top off for a substantial period of time, the floors are usually bare metal, and you got a little bit of it here, but this floor is in excellent shape, being that it's still white. Not a lot of people end up painting them, or not painting them, but lining them. So, you know, that's neither here nor there, and it's not necessarily like, look at this yellow one here. This is a really clean tub too, but that's what the carpet just literally peels and it's all bare. You know, it's not rusty at all, but it is something that if you don't treat and don't cover that back up, whether it be yellow, in this case white, you will start getting oxidation, flash rust. That leads to surface, and then obviously eventually that goes, especially if you introduce coastal areas or Midwest salt. Doesn't take long, you rust these things out. So anything like you see here, this is all just leached out from whatever was mounted up here. The door being squeezed, this is just paint. There's nothing absolutely, not even oxidation. Okay, this is just the paint literally. And actually, if you look at it, I can literally scratch that stuff off. So just show it because it's orange in the photo, and it's always something that people, you know, like, oh, what's this up here, you know? So when I wash it, a lot of this will probably come off. But you got, again, all the holes for your windshield hinges, those are all in good shape there. The mounting holes in the top, nice and clean up there. So absolutely beautiful floor, like probably A+, at least at this point. So it's got rear seat brackets, those will get pulled. I believe the tailgate, I don't think that was sold. We don't sell those with it, but if it was something that the customer wanted, we can definitely add that in there, although it does have a couple scratches on that tailgate, but it's clean. It doesn't look like there's a bit of rust on it. The corners, let me tell you, TJs, YJs, and CJs, even on the cleanest tubs, usually will have dings or dents on the corners, and this one, absolutely perfect. The back over to the flares, and I'll get these pulled for you in that final video, just to give you an exact idea. There's nothing hiding under there. And usually there's not, especially when everything else is so clean, but you never know. So we'll pull them just like we do the roll bars, most of the time. And all those roll bar bolts, they're all nice and clean. There's nothing broken off any of those. Those can be a bugger to pull out later if you strip them. The seals, those will get peeled unless you want them. I don't mind throwing those guys in. The lower rocker, it's not even dinged up. Typically there's door dings down there. And then this corner, of course, absolutely beautiful. There might be a slight, no, I don't think so. I thought I might have seen a little bit of a glare angle, a little ding there, but I don't see it at that. I think it was just the way I was walking on it. So that's perfect. And again, hinges will get pulled. Now, again, we can, if you're needing a tailgate and yours is rusty, the place to look for rust on a tailgate is the bottom lip. And when I get it up and clean this one and get this one pulled, being that I believe that, again, we can double check with the customer that they're not wanting to buy it, but if they're not, we'll pull it. And as well as the tailgate hinges. They'll basically, it should basically look like this tub. Look at, see, nice tub, beautiful tub, but it's got a dinged up corner, very common. So, and we'll pull the liners out of them. We sell those, but and more importantly for you, you'll be able to see up underneath there, the pinch welds. Those are common to harbor rust. Not usually bad rust, especially in a tub like this. I doubt there's any at all, but if there is, it's usually just right there to make it aware that you need to get in there and at least treat it before it becomes a problem. So again, on this one, I don't anticipate anything like that. We'll get close and personal with seams like this as you go down. Okay, this this tub technically was a modular out of the factory, so there are sections. So if you wanted to take a paint pen, that's what I would do here, because over time, and you're always going to have this, it happens on all of them just from wear, but you can take a paint pen, especially if you get this paint code, which is still on the door jamb there, or you have it, I'm sure, on yours, and just literally roll it right down there, and that will fill that crack back in and also give it some protection, because you definitely don't want, you know, water. And again, if you're in an area that can be prone to that, so, and it will prevent from, you can kind of see a little bit there starting to crack a little bit more. So but I told you, especially when I talked to you on the phone, you know, you'd see this thing up close. You asked me, would I need to paint it? And I mean, it depends. You know, there's definitely a couple scratches in it here and there. I don't think you need to paint the whole thing. When I wash this sticker will come off, or should come off. It likely will take this paint off, and I'm actually already seeing it here. So, you know, I don't ever tell people, and I hope Chris didn't, but if he did, then I apologize. And I can tell you right there, you're getting paint, see? Not that you didn't want to run a Colorado sticker, but so yeah, I mean, it's, you know, we do sell these bolt-on ready, but never, ever, ever do I promise that it's perfect paint. And if that was the case, I seen the pricing on it. The pricing was accurate on this tub, at least for what I'm seeing right now. But, you know, if you want to have words or chat with even Chris about that, we can definitely go over that. This is stuff that would have been visible in the beginning. This is just before we would have done that pre-dismantle video, which I know you didn't get. But if that becomes a problem, you don't want it, based on that, you just need to reach out. Unfortunately, when it comes to white tubs, this is the only grade A I have. Those two both are severely damaged in the rear. One of them actually is sold like that. We had a low grade C that a rock crawler guy bought out in New Jersey. The other one's available, but I can show you it later, but they had gotten hit in the rear and they filled it in and did a terrible job, and that Bondo's cracked and stuff. So, I mean, in my opinion, A+, but yes, if you're wondering about paint, you're definitely gonna have, I wouldn't say a full paint job. You know, you might even be able to tackle it with, depending on what your skill level is, a paint pen or you know, but the problem is and this is just the God's honest truth, is that if you go to paint spots on this thing, especially with any kind of spray paint, or even like a, you know, shoot out of a gun, this, even though it's white, and white is the least color to fade, you're still gonna get a blotchy spot on it. So if you're cool with running it like this, that's what I would do. And then over time, maybe look at painting it down the road. If that's not what you're hoping for, unfortunately, I don't even want to sell anybody short on this, but it's kind of, I don't want to say it's methodical, but in our world it would be, because, you know, these things are so, I mean, heck, this thing's probably, let's see, what year is it, 97? Yeah, so it's an early 97, so 30 plus years old, you know, you're gonna have a couple scratches, and there's definitely scratches down there on the long where that's gonna be common on them. Matter of fact, that's an 04, or yeah, I think that's an 04 there, and it's got the same, so definitely gonna be wear through paint, but I guarantee no rust. I guarantee what you're seeing and what you're getting. There's no dents, there's no dings. You know, there's yeah, even our grade A tubs usually will have a couple dings in them. It's pretty common, but on this tub, I actually think it might be as cherry as they come. So you got a nice tub, man. Hope you like it. But again, I will definitely get you a better video. I will wash this thing personally, and that will even allow me to go over it even closer. And we'll get these flares pulled. We'll pull the tailgate, the antenna, the brackets, the strikers, the liners, all that stuff will come off, the heat shields underneath. You'll be able to see the bottom. I'll put it up on its side. I'll put it on the concrete pad over there and flip it up on its side so you can see that, and see that the skirting underneath is nice and clean. And yeah, if we get the A-OK on this, then we'll roll this into the back for transport. And then the frame is in the shop right now, the chassis is, and that will be done hopefully in the morning. I was hoping the guys today, but they're struggling with one of our notorious employees we got. He's a great guy, but he calls out every time he gets paid. So, and I thought by paying him yesterday, Monday, that might prevent that, but it didn't. He called out today. So labor's hard to find sometimes. So, you know, it is what it is. But anyway, questions, comments, concerns, definitely, you know, reach out to me. 303-666-9020, partsbreakers.com. If you're looking for a tub, maybe not be the customer I'm talking to in this video, or you need a yellow one, especially those ones, those solar yellows are hard to get, you know, or YJ tubs, CJ, and actually I'm out of CJ tubs right now, but definitely reach out and we'll go from there. All right, thanks a lot.